Okay, it's time for the trending simulation. I think I finally decided on a name for this thing. Trending simulation, not sure. Algo trick, I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, this is going to deliver a massive signal to Google that your business is trending. See, Google is constantly monitoring which Google business listings are being favored over others. It does this on search results too. It does this on ads, even. Its algorithms focus on which listing, which ad, which search result is being favored over others. And if their algorithm suddenly sees a lot of people clicking on one ad over the others, or one listing over the others, or one search result over the others, they'll boost the visibility of that ad, or in this case, that Maps listing. And there are a lot of reasons for this, right? Google is really focused on user experience, and for instance, for a local listing, let's say a clothing store in, I don't know, Tempe, Arizona or something is featured in a news segment, right? About their shoppers requiring masks in their store or something, but before it was a thing. And so this leads to a spike in the number of people searching for that clothing store on Google. And since Google Business is so prominent in the search results, most of these people will be clicking on the Maps listing for that clothing shop. And so this sends a massive signal to Google that this business is trending. And in order to continue giving people what they want, which is what Google is all about, user experience, they will give this listing more visibility over the other competing listings. And I did this with ads. I still run to this day. I run Google Ads campaigns for businesses, and we use a method called the one-to-one method to make the ads more relevant to the users who are searching. Basically, everything about Google is increasing engagement and interaction for your listing, your search result, your ad, whatever it is. And you do that by delivering a better user experience, and you do that by being more relevant. So with this trending simulation process, we'll be able to mimic that sort of spike in interactions and in engagement, like in the news example I just gave, without needing to be featured in the news. So it's pretty good. So while this stage is about increasing the engagement on your Maps listing, we're not really concerned about the engagement metric or the interaction metric. It's the result of that engagement that we actually care about, and the result is money, right? Revenue, new customers. So we measure the results of this strategy in money, not in engagement or in interaction rates. And in Google Ads, we focus on a lot of different metrics, but the main metric is always revenue. We're not like, oh man, we got our interaction rate up. That's awesome. It's not what we do. We care about the monetary return. And so the interaction and engagement rates mean squat to a business, except how much money they bring in. So just so we're clear on that. Okay. So now a word of caution. Do you want this to have short-term results, or do you want it to have long-term results? Okay, so some of these slides that you've seen before have the algo trick as the top of the pyramid, and it's always got this optional thing here. And what it really should be is smaller print, optional. I mean, it's the top of the pyramid. It does not matter as much because all of this stuff is building natural engagement and natural authority and trust to your listing, to your Google Business profile. And so this is just a way to spike it up and get some more visibility. And when you have the foundation, when you have the other 4 layers of the pyramid, starting from the bottom, completed, then you're going to have long-term results. But if you do this without doing any of the rest of the pyramid, or just doing some of it, or kind of lollygagging your way and just doing the algo trick, you'll get some results. You'll see a spike in engagement. You'll see some increased visibility. But if you don't have anything to back that up, it's not going to stick around. It's just going to be a short-lived result. So if you're anything like me, you value long-term results, right? And so that's why this is a bonus. That's why this is an optional thing. So if your Google Business profile is properly set up, you have a lot of consistent high authority citations. You are consistently getting reviews, and you have good interaction and engagement on your profile, on your listing, then this strategy, the trending simulation, will help you elevate your visibility in Google Maps and Google Search. And when you have all of this done, and then you do this, this actually sticks. It stays. So why does this trending simulation work? Well, Google is the best search engine in the world because it puts human behavior at the heart of what it does. It wants human behavior to influence which websites get priority in search results and in the ads. And they focus on user experience. This is built into their algorithm, and it's also patented. I'm going to show you that in a second. Now, of course, there are other factors that determine if, a website or a Google business profile ranks well. It's not just human behavior, but it's becoming an increasingly more significant part, and that's been happening over the last several years, actually. So there are two user experience signals that Google really focuses on, and that is click-through rate. And the click-through rate is basically how many people click on your Google Maps listing instead of others. So, if your Maps listing shows up, do people click on it? So it's like a percentage. And then the dwell time is how long a user stays on your listing before returning to the search results. So this trending simulation takes care of both of these metrics. Now, I've been doing this for quite a long time. I'm going to show you, of course, walk you through this step by step exactly how to do this. And I've done this both on normal websites and on Google business listings. And so this strategy that you're about to see is based on my positive results from these experiences. And it's not just me, okay? So let me show you some examples of this. This, as you can see, was an article by Rand Fishkin. He's a prominent expert on Google and search and stuff like that. You can see this was done way back in May of 2014. So this has been going on for quite a while. And this is a cool little experiment. It's a short article. You can read about it. But essentially what he did was he published an article and then went to Twitter, asked Twitter to help with a theory or a test, and then he got some responses, and what ended up happening within hours, the search results went up in the page. So I'll let you read this. I'm not going to just sit here and read it, but it's an experiment that he did with real users, his actual Twitter followers. And, he goes on to say, this is not enough evidence to say that it's definitively using query and click volume to rank pages. And there may be, and there certainly are, other factors at work. And then he, gives some disclaimers in here, but it's still for local businesses, this is even more powerful because we're not talking about a website. We're talking about a local business, your Google business profile. Right. So here's another guy, Bill Slosky. He's also a prominent expert. And this is a very technical read, but you can read it if you want. They're talking about in this article, Google's patent about user behavior and dwell time and click-through rate. It can be a little technical. It describes how user click-through rates and other user behavior information might influence rankings and search results. And there's an abstract right down here. So there's that, if you want to read that. And then we have Google's own patent. So this is straight from a Google patent. And these patents are being updated through continuation patents, which update the claims from a patent to reflect changes in the processes behind a patent. Search rankings may be based upon the length of time that a searcher may spend viewing a page from search results, and the documents may later be ranked higher based upon being viewed for longer periods. So this patent, this screenshot of this excerpt from this patent, it's being continuously updated through continuation patent. So user reactions to particular search results or search result lists may be gauged so that results on which users often click will receive a higher ranking. And then we have this straight from the mouth of a Google engineer. Using click and visit data to rank results is a very reasonable and logical thing to do, and ignoring the data would have been silly. Indeed. And then the ranking itself is affected by the click data, and this was in a lawsuit on Google. And there are, this is the tip of the iceberg. There are tons of other sources that show that click-through rate, dwell time, and essentially user experience does affect rankings. So all of these sources are talking about user experience signals regarding websites, click-through rate and dwell time and user experience regarding websites. So what's awesome what's fantastic is that this trending simulation, this strategy that you're about to see, works even better for Google Business and Maps because Google owns Google Business. They're biased towards it, right?